here, and today we got part 2 of creating my latest background. Part 1 we looked at how we created the background, like the background texture, and now we're going to be looking at the banner area, the text in the bar where you would put your links, like I have my Twitter and my portfolio. And yeah, so into this tutorial. So I've loaded back up the save I made after the first part, so we're exactly where we should be. So if you haven't seen part 1, I recommend you go watch that. And yeah, so part 2. First off, we're gonna probably add the text. I think that's what I first did. Like I said in the first tutorial, I'm doing this all off memory, so some stuff may not be 100%, accurate and an exact copy of what I first made, but I'll try and get it as close as possible. And I don't know what the hell this is doing, but come on. And we're just gonna write KillaGraphics. I'm gonna make it bigger, about 64 or 60. And if I remember rightly, the font I was using, I think it was something like, I don't know, I know the letters kind of, actually I never spell it right, and it's glitching up. That's better. I think it's like this or something. Nope. Come on, oh, for God's sake. If I don't find it in a second, then I will stop and find it, but come on, show yourself. Somewhere around here. There it is. It's called Geist RND. So yeah, just search out on Google. It's spelt like, yeah, you can just put 720p and you should be able to see it. I think it's called, yeah, Geist RND. It's a really blocky font, but I really like it, so that's why I picked it. And I've already got ruler lines. Like I've said before, if you don't know how to get ruler lines, you press Control R. They shouldn't be up anyway by default. Press Control R, then you just drag off the ruler lines, and then obviously you can place them and they'll do this blue. I think you can change the color of them, not like that, that's the background, but I don't know. But yeah, I use it to center. This won't be centered at the end because there's text underneath, but we'll center it now. And to hide it, like without press, because Control R will just allow you to make ruler lines. Control and semicolon will hide and show. I've said that like every tutorial I've done recently, but people forget. So now we're going to make this a dark grey to start off the effects. I already have a preset one. It's a 10-10-10 black to a 2B 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 dark grey, and we're going to put the scale all the way up, and we're going to hit enter, and we're going to create a new layer above it and merge it with it, so it pretty much becomes a non-text layer, so we can edit it in certain ways now without it throwing errors at us. So, and also we're going to it gets rid of the gradient like blending option, which affects stuff when you like clip and mask stuff and overlay stuff, so it just makes it easy to do that first. Now we're going to create a layer. This will be the gloss layer. I'm actually going to name this so gloss. I'll just call it text gloss, main text gloss. It really helps to layer all your layers as you go, because then at the end you don't get confused. But I don't think, well, some people do, but you say it, but I never do it, so I always forget. But we'll do it in the tutorial. We're going to right click and go select pixels, and then we're going to go to our main text gloss, and we're going to bring up our fingers again, and we're going to holding Alt on the rectangular marquee tool, we're going to, it should lock onto the ruler line that's through the middle of the text, and then just let go, and it should, oh, didn't mean to do that, it should end up with something like that where it just takes off the bottom selection. Then we're going to go to our gradient tool, and we're going to select the one up here. This is pretty much exactly the same one, which is just white to transparent, and we're just going to make a, oh, it's on radial, make sure it's on linear, and we're just going to go down holding shift to keep it straight, and that should be enough, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. Then go back onto our main text and add some blending options, such as drop shadow, which is opacity is going to be all the way up, distance all the way down, size up to about 10, stroke to 1 pixel at white, and we're going to set the blending mode to that, to overlay, and inner shadow, we're just going to hit that once and keep the default settings for that, and we're going to go back and go to change the drop shadow to about 75% actually. And that is about as close to a copy as you can get, I think. I say I think, but yeah, it looks pretty correct to me. We're going to add the subtext now, just make it easier. I didn't do it when I first made the background, but I didn't want to add it at the start, so we used a different font. I think I used this one, Oliver's Barney. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I just had Photoshop. Tutorials, speed art, and much more. With an exclamation mark. Size down a lot to about 16. And I'm just going to double check quickly. No, we didn't. We use, I think that's code bold. Yeah, it is. Code bold. Yeah, and I think I made it bold as well by going to the character options, which is in your window. Then you get character, unless you don't already have it selected on a hotbar menu like I do here. Actually, you can pick character. I thought you had to pick paragraph, but you can pick character on its own. So I got both of them in the same one. So, and we're going to make that bold, and I'd select the double T. I think that one's for keep it all capitals, but it seems to, straighten the text out a little bit, so we'll just select that anyway. This is an all capital text anyway, so. And we're going to put pretty much the same settings on without the gloss, so we don't actually have to put the gradient on and then merge it to a blank layer. So we're doing the exact same stuff, putting all the stroke on and stuff. Oh, overlay. Drop shadow will be a little different. We'll probably put it to about 7. Add about 90 opacity. And there's no point in putting inner shadow because you won't notice it. So we don't add inner shadow on this one at the bottom. Just drop shadow, gradient overlay, and stroke. And all of them are the exact same settings as we did on the first one, other than drop shadow, which is slightly higher opacity. And there you go, we've got the first text. Now we're going to center this. Oh, didn't mean to. There. That's centered. Now what we need to do is the link bar. We can put this in a group if we want, but it's not a lot of layers. There's a few text layers, but it doesn't get too mad, so you don't have to group it. You can if you're kind of an OCD person and you got to have everything tidy. So, but that's completely up to you. But we're not in this tutorial, so we're going to select the rounded rectangular tool at a radius of 10 pixels. If you go in here and you go to change it, make sure you put px, because it'll automatically select any number you put in into centimeters, which then makes it wrong. So if we do 10, look, I think it'll do 10 centimeters, and you can see it's a bit too rounded. Looks like a skateboard. So I was going to say something else, but I said skateboard. So yeah, you want to put 10 px. That just gives it a nice, it's pretty much a rectangle with a nice rounded edge. I've got to try and get the size right now. It doesn't matter how big it is, it has to have a little bit of a length, height wise. But it hides under the main area anyway, so. Then you kind of got to judge how tall it is. If you want to write more in there, you can make it bigger or smaller, it's up to you. But a thing to remember with this is the higher it is, the better, because the actual banner in your partner, you can link it, so you can click links and stuff and click areas on the banner which will take you to different pages. With this, the area is kind of like this, so it cuts half of the banner out, which is kind of annoying with this design, but yeah, you don't want to be making it like this, otherwise you're not going to be able to click it at all. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're making this and you're going to add links. And now we're just going to add all the effects. It's pretty much the same stuff as before, keeping the color scheme going. I think I moved the gradient. I'm not 100% sure on this one. Always double check, because I don't want to be doing the tutorial wrong. So where are we going? Yeah, I think I did. All I did was done it exactly the same, but I put the scale down and I moved by just literally dragging around. You can move the gradient, and I moved it up a bit. I'm actually going to put it to 50, and that just gives it exactly the same effect. But because this is longer, if you keep the scale at like 100 or the 150, it will do the whole box. So this will pretty much be the same color, so you don't get that gradient effect. We're doing drop shadow as well. Oh no, we're going to merge this with an empty layer because we add gloss and the gradient overlay screws the gloss up. So sometimes it doesn't always. If you create as a clip and mask, it does, which some people do because it's easier than selected and then going to the marquee tool. But that's what I've been doing recently. So, and if you didn't get a word I just said, then it doesn't matter because it wasn't that important. So we're going to add our stroke and all our effects now. You can do the gloss first if you want. It's completely up to you. I'm going to add a drop shadow, distance of 0. It's pretty much exactly the same settings. And in shadow. Did I put an in shadow? See, gotta check again. I should just keep the bleeding image up, shouldn't I? Which I'm gonna do now. Yes, there is a bit of inner shadow, but it's not. Distance is at 0 and the size is probably at like 10, and the thing's probably at like 50. Alright, so yes, you can copy them settings, but I'll tell you actually. Opacity is at 50, and distance is 0, choke is 0, and size is at 15. And we're going to press OK, and now we're going to add our gloss. We're actually just going to, actually no, we're going to select again, and then just take away by holding Alt on our marquee tool, and we're going to have to try and judge the middle. Even if it's just off center, it shouldn't look bad at all. So now we're going to create a new layer where the gloss is going to go, and we're just going to do the same thing with the gradient. Don't want it too strong though, because it kind of looks stupid. That's just enough. That looks pretty good. I'm liking it. We're going to keep that. Now all we need to do is create the little indents to split the text up, which I've done a tutorial on, but I'm going to show you quickly now. It won't be as in depth and stuff, and it'll be a bit quicker. So all you're going to do is you're going to select the single column marquee tool. You're going to click once. You're going to create a new layer. You're going to go to your brush tool and you're going to select a feathered out circle at about 25 pixels for this one. And you're going to make sure it's white, and you're just going to click once in the middle of the banner, but on the line as well, so it's in center, exactly like this is now. And then you press Ctrl D to deselect, and you'll notice it will make kind of a stretched line. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that stretched line, press Ctrl J, hit the arrow key once, either to the left or to the right, that's up to you. Once you've done that, you're then going to press Ctrl I, which inverts the color, so white will go to black. Then hold Control, click both layers you just were messing around with, the two layers you just made. Ctrl E, which will merge them together. Then go to blending mode, overlay, and this creates a indent effect. Voila! If you take off, we're just going to show you. Look, that's what it does pretty much. It has a white streak and then a black streak, but when set to overlay, it gives that indent effect, which is pretty snazzy. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller by just going at the top and holding Alt and Shift so it drags in both sides, and that's a bit too small actually. And we got to find it. Hang on. Oh, add it then. That should do. There you go. And then all you do is use that to split up the text, which we only had 2 because we only had 3 sets of text. One was like that side and one was this side. Now we're going to bring a ruler line to the middle of this, and we're going to line them up so they're lined up center. Both of them. Make sure they're in the middle. All I did then was just select both of them to move, and once you select both of them, it'll put a rectangle around them on the transform menu, and then you can align it with the middle bit, and then that means they're both equal side that line. And then all we did was add text, and this bit's pretty basic, so I'm not going to go through 100 like the whole way. I'll probably just do one side, and you can figure out the rest, because obviously this tutorial is on 16 minutes, so we don't want to drag along too long. All I did was say follow me on Twitter, and what I did here is I actually first went to the blending options. This is the only thing you probably need to know. The rest is pretty self-explanatory and a copy of this, but just with different text. You go to your gradient overlay and you're going to select the transparent to white. You're going to put the scale all the way up, and you're going to select the blend mode to overlay, and that's pretty much what you're going to do. And then what you can do is you can select your text, make it black, as you can see. And I think I selected the wrong one. Oh no, did I? Apparently so. I'm pretty sure I did this. Nope. Maybe I'll just turn the opacity down. Give me a minute. I found out the problem. Basically all it was is when you go black, overlay will not work with white. So also you need to turn the opacity down a bit to around 50, I say. And then what I did, I didn't even I made it white anyway. It was like a grey, so we're going to go to a really light grey. And all that gradient overlay will do is give it a bit of a gradient, basically. It will just whiten the bottom bit upwards, and it just gives it that nice effect. And then all you do is you select the Twitter bit, and then you pick the colour, which in this case is an aqua green, which is about here. Obviously you can just pick a colour from the background like that, and there you go. I think I put some more effects on it, like stroke of 1. Let me double check. Yeah, there's definitely a stroke of 1 on there, and it's a different text. I think it was the same text but just not in bold. Yeah. And there's a bit of drop shadow on it, only a teeny bit. Probably the default, but with distance at 5. And that just goes there. And we're going to go to character, and we're going to take the boldness off, and I'm going to keep the other one selected. And then all I did was add the Twitter logo. Got to find it. It's in here somewhere. Oh, resources. Oh, I want to save as. What am I doing? Place. Don't know what I was done there. Twitter. I have a massive Twitter, but just the one I use. As you can see, it's massive, and we scaled it down a lot. About that much. We put it in the corner, and all we did with this was we added our own gradient instead of doing what we do with the text. I've got this preset here, like dark aqua to light aqua. I'll give you the colours. I think I did last tutorial, but I'll do it again. 009A62, and the lighter one is 00FFB4. And then I did that, and I put scale all the way up, and I put a tiny bit of drop shadow on, and I put 1 pixel of black stroke, and that's basically that there. And then all I did was did it with the other logo on the other side, and you'll end up with that. So hope this helped. Hope this was a nice tutorial. I'm going to do probably a lot more of these because it seems to be liked. People like to make backgrounds, learn things in the process and create a nice image. So, and obviously I'm going to try, and every time I do this, make a speed up before, so you can actually see the work before instead of me just flashing it up on the tutorial and going, we're making this. So yeah, I might turn it into like a series or something. Do like one once a week or something, or one every 2 weeks, depending on like how good I make them and stuff. Because speed arts are kind of annoying to make. You have to record them. You have to. I'm having problems with my Sony Vegas. It keeps screwing up, and all that. And you got to speed it up in Sony Vegas. Add music. I've been having problem with music, but I think I finally got that sorted. Because obviously I'm a partner on YouTube now, so when I upload a video, I have the opportunity to put ads on it, which is where I get where you earn money from when you got a partnership. And if you've got music that you don't have full permission, and sometimes they don't allow it, and then even if you do have full permission, they sometimes still don't allow it by saying you need to show more documentations and stuff like that. But I got it fixed. Last one worked, so I probably will do a lot more speed arts now. And that's it, guys. Hope this tutorial helped. I'm out. Peace.